If you're an executive looking for a new role in 2026, I want you to get comfortable with this very simple concept. Almost all senior level roles never get advertised. In fact, when we look at the research on this, which is incredibly consistent, 70 to 80% of all roles get filled off market. In fact, if you speak to a lot of exec search consultants, they may well even tell you it's even higher, closer to 85 to 95%. So if you're out there in the market looking for something new, you're posting your resume up, or you're answering ads, or maybe getting out for a few coffee catch-ups here and there, chances are you're going to be a little bit disappointed. My name's Charles Baker. I spent the last 20 years working in the global exec search space with some of the world's leading exec search brands and innovative boutique firms, working exclusively with boards, investors, C-suite leaders, filling some of the most challenging roles that they have to offer. And here is something that I have seen repeatedly. Highly capable executives missing out on roles that they were perfect for, missing out on roles that they've done before, and not because they lack the talent, but because they misunderstand how the executive market actually works. As we move through 2026, I think we're going to see a continuation of what we saw towards the back end of 2025, which is slower executive hiring, much more discreet, much more risk-driven. Boards and C-suite leaders, they're going to be making hiring decisions, but it's going to be much more focused around reducing risk rather than rewarding career history. So one of the big things that I've seen shift over the last 18 months is a move away from traditional credential-based hiring. So hiring based on what you've done in the past, your track record, your academics, etc. We're at a time of history where that might not be enough to get that next role. Certainly, leaders at the moment are looking at their organizations, they're looking at the people they have within their organizations, and they're looking at things like growth capacity as a hiring metric. Now, growth capacity is a really interesting metric, which is really much more focused around a candidate's ability to grow, evolve, learn new skills very, very fast in a role that may that they get hired for on a Monday that might be completely different in 6 to 12 months time. So it's, can the candidate evolve and grow over time as that role morphs around them? That is much more important these days than traditional credential-based hiring. So look, growth capacity it's important. I'm going to be doing a lot of work, or certainly presenting a lot of information on growth capacity over the next few weeks, because I think it is a really, really important subject that a lot of leaders really neglect when they're looking at that future opportunity. We're looking at things like learning ambiguity, ability to build relationships really, really fast. When they start a new role, not getting bogged down in the detail too quickly, but actually giving themselves enough room to grow. One of the interesting stats that I always look at, certainly in the post-hire piece, which is, as you know, or may not know, Vantia Group is very focused on not just the hiring, but also the integration, onboarding, coaching that happens in that 6 to 12 months post-hire. One of the things that we focus on is really, helping leaders evolve with those roles in that first 6 months, build credibility, develop into more rounded leaders, and help them sort of develop, or help them deal with some of the challenges that they face in that tricky first 6 to 12 months, which is, again, as statistics sort of show us, 40% of new leaders, and that's externally hired and internally promoted leaders, fail within that 6 to 12 months period. Well, actually within the 18 months, but most of that actually happens in the first 6 months. As new leaders join, they get stuck into the weeds, and then they stop seeing the big picture. So the biggest thing I'm seeing at the moment is that move towards growth capacity focused hiring, and really dropping away from that very traditional credential based hiring. And that is exactly why I started the NXT Move Lab. This channel is dedicated to helping senior leaders understand how executive careers actually move. We're going to cover topics such as how off-market roles actually emerge, how boards and executive search firms assess talent and assess executive risk, how to position yourself for roles that you never see advertised, and how to make your career a more deliberate move, or how to make deliberate moves, and how to stay away from being reactive in the market or reactive to the market. This channel isn't about building CV templates and understanding cheap job search hacks. That is not what we're about. What we're looking at is more the complex. It's helping leaders really build judgment when it comes to looking at their careers. It's credibility, it's reputation building, it is navigating the challenging hidden job market. It's understanding everything that it is to be a high-performing human being within a modern, contemporary business environment. So If you are a senior leader thinking about your next career move, maybe you're looking for something over the next 12 to 24 months, this channel is for you. So please hit subscribe and let's start building a career that matters.